Hi everyone. I obviously just got out of the shower and I just wanted to talk a little bit about a phenomenon that I'm just going to call whack-a-thought. Because what happens, I mean, this actually happened a couple of days ago when I was, or maybe a week ago when I was in the shower, but the shower just reminded me of it and I didn't do a video on it at the time, so I thought I'd do a video now. I was upset. And one thing I've noticed in the past and at the time that this was happening last week or whatever it was, is that when you're upset, or at least when I'm upset, I will, if I get myself off one thought, my mind switches to a thought, like a memory or a thought that makes me feel that same way. And then when I realize that and I switch off that thought, another thought comes into my head and makes me like, and it's just there. What tends to happen is that we've got all this stuff, right? We've got all this stuff in our brain stored. At least for me, when my thought process, the way I think, the way I thought, was continuously ruminating on experiences that made me feel bad. And just all my thoughts were negative. Let's just say that. They were all negative. And this is back when I was depressed. And when you're in that state for a long period of time, the actual pathways in your brain where those thoughts go get kind of like a path in the woods, right? They get worn down and it's easier to go that way. So why wouldn't the electricity just go that way, right? Because that's what our brain is, right? Chemical electricity. It takes effort, conscious effort, to change these things. Like if I were in a path in the woods and I wanted to get from here to there, and there's this path kind of like this. It kind of took me through some negative, like some dangerous stuff, but it was well worn. You might take that path, but you also could take a machete with you and cut your own path, right? So we've got this analogy going on so far. So that's sort of what you have to do, or one has to do, or I have to do, to create new thought habits so that the paths that you wear down are different and the old paths can get overgrown. And when you're in the midst of this thought attack, this like storm of negative thoughts that all make you feel like seriously, it's like, okay, well, you'll remember this, that made you feel this way too. Okay, no. And you get rid of that thought. And then another one comes in and it's like, this made you feel that way too. Remember this, remember that? Like, it's just like, I don't want to remember that. Yeah, it's better. Like that's not stuff I want to remember, but they keep coming back and it's a cycle and they're the same thoughts, right? They're the same. There are memories that you pick that stick with you. Speak for myself. There are memories that I picked that stuck with me. And it's just my brain goes there automatically. So, as someone who does not wish for that to happen anymore, there is a conscious effort to stop that. But it doesn't happen right away. And it's a work in progress, right? It's because in the midst of it, you're just trying to get the thought away. Like, just go away, thought, go away. I don't want to think about you. And then then the other one comes in and you're like, no. It's like, so it's like whack a thought, right? Like down, stop. But that doesn't work. Whack a thought does not work. It might for a short period of time. You could get really good at it like you do with whack-a-mole, but it's not the best way to handle things because because that's not how emotions work. That's not how it works. What does work then, right? Let's talk about the solution and not the problem. What does work is constantly veering away. So it's about, I mean, I've discussed this again a lot in the past. It's awareness. Awareness is the first step. Awareness that you're having that thought. So eventually, let's talk about awareness again. Awareness, you have this negative feeling, and then you realize you're thinking these negative thoughts, right? And then you change the direction of your thinking, right? Whether one of the things I like to do sometimes is have a couple of thoughts on standby, a couple of positive thoughts on standby that I can just go to, like, oh, I know that thought makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like this, boop, boop. And sometimes they're happy memories, and sometimes they're thoughts about what I want to happen in the future, or things right now that are making me happy. Anything to lift the mood. But when I was first really, I mean, I knew about this technique before. It's not like a big thought. It's not like a new thought, but I finally really tried to do it. Like, and I stuck with it, because before I had done it a couple of several times. I would keep going, but just like, it's tiring, and it's, it was exhausting. And yeah, my other way of thinking was exhausting too, but at least it was familiar. So when I started a year and a half ago, I was having these thoughts about a situation in the past. And they made me so angry and so hurt and so betrayed, and like, they caused a lot of negative, like a lot of energy that was there. And I would just go around like, oh God, I can't believe that, right? I got sick of that feeling. I didn't want to feel that anymore. So anytime I started feeling that, I kind of keyed myself to be aware of that feeling. And when I was aware of the feeling, I recognized the thought that I was having. And when you do it enough, you're able to catch yourself before you even start thinking, because you start feeling it sometimes before you start thinking. And like when I would feel that like sick feeling, that like I'm so sick of that feeling, every time that would happen, I would just not distract myself, but distract myself. You know what I mean? Like, think about something else. Okay, thought, whatever, you're there. I'm going to go over here and do this. And that really, really started to help, because I kept at it. And you got to keep at it and at it and at it, and just trust that because you don't want the other way. What's the other way, right? The other way, oh, my computer's going. The other way is, the other way is the way you've been going, right? The way that's making you miserable. So when I started having let's speed forward to a week ago, or whatever it was, when I was having this storm of, like, this shitstorm, excuse my language, of thoughts that all made me feel badly in this one particular way. Because that they're all connected, right? There's like nodules in your brain. Like, one idea gets lit up, and then it goes out to these other that are connected by this feeling. At least that's how I see it. I don't know what's actually going on. That's how I see it. Like, oh, this makes me, like, it just reminds you of all the feelings that make you feel that way. So they come back and they start, and you just compound it. And like, what are you doing? What am I doing? Right? Like, I'm just taking a shower, thinking all these horrible thoughts and feeling miserable. Like, that's really pointless. Like, it's completely, why? Right? So I started doing what I'm talking about right now, you know, whenever it would, and it's a process. It's like, okay, you know, no, I'm going to think about this over here. No, okay, you can have that thought, but, and you got to keep on it. I just wanted to come up and talk about that, really. For anybody else who might have those thought storms that make you feel crappy, have an umbrella or just get out of the rain, you know? So yeah, just put your attention on something else and keep doing it every time, because you get lost. I get lost. Like all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, I'm in the middle of this. I'm in the middle of the thought, right? I'm in the middle of it. I don't remember when it started, but I'm in the middle of this thought. And one of the things that I'm actually really enjoying is like daydreaming. Daydreaming is a big thing for me lately. It's getting me motivated. I hadn't daydreamed for a long time. And it's like a relatively recent occurrence, maybe in like over the summer. I was like, I could actually picture a brighter future. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. Whack-a-thought does not work, but putting your attention on something else does, right? Because if you're standing at the whack-a-mole thing and you're popping the whack-a-moles, right? Maybe you win every once in a while, but if you put the mallet down and you walk away from the machine, you don't have to whack them anymore, right? Anyway, I hope that analogy worked for you guys. And I can be grateful for whack-a-mole, because that gave me a nice little analogy, sort of, because people like to play whack-a-mole. So let's say whack-a-mole wasn't fun. It's like an evil version of whack-a-mole. You didn't want to play whack-a-mole anymore. You put the mallet down, you go away, right? Whack-a-mole can be its thing. You're going elsewhere. Anyway, I can be grateful for whack-a-mole. I can be grateful for my shitstorm of thoughts, and because it makes me stronger to be able to get myself out of that. It makes me able to share it with you all out there in Facebook land. Hopefully it's useful to you. Hopefully my putting my crap on display is useful to you. So I'm just gonna say I got a couple of things I gotta do, so I'm gonna get going. And I just want to remind you all that you can always choose to have a grateful day.